Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on the New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and other New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying close attention to the Giants this season, you know that it's been a roller coaster. The Giants are coming off a huge win, one that probably surprised a lot of people, especially considering they beat a 3-0 Los Angeles Chargers team that was flying high with expectations. What makes this victory even more impressive is the context behind it. Malik Neighbors, the young superstar wide receiver who had been making waves with his rookie season, suffered a serious injury during that game. And I mean serious. It's now confirmed that Neighbors tore his ACL, which is a huge blow not only for him personally, but for the Giants' offense as a whole. That injury shocked fans and analysts alike, because Neighbors had been a key piece in the team's offensive puzzle, a guy who was emerging as a true playmaker and someone Jackson Dart could rely on. But here's the interesting part. Despite losing Neighbors, the Giants managed to rally, and Jackson Dart looked impressive in his debut, guiding the team to a much-needed victory at home. That's a huge boost for the squad, especially considering all the ups and downs they've faced so far this season. The defense played well, showing resilience and grit against a talented Chargers offense, and offensively, Dart found ways to connect with the remaining receivers, even with a less-than-ideal receiver room. That's the thing, though this team's receiver core isn't exactly bursting with depth right now. After Neighbors' injury, the Giants are facing a major question. How do they replace such a dynamic young talent? The receiver position has always been a critical one, and in this particular moment, the Giants are looking at some options that could make a real difference. They could go the trade route, trying to bring in a star receiver with experience and proven production. But at the moment, free agency might actually be the more practical solution. The free agent market has some interesting names, and I want to talk about 3 receivers who could come in and help stabilize this position, especially after Neighbors' injury. And one of these names is a familiar face for Giants fans, which adds an interesting layer to the story. Let's start with Odell Beckham Jr. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't he a bit of a wild card at this stage of his career? But hear me out. Beckham is eager to keep playing football. After being released by the Miami Dolphins last season, OBJ publicly expressed his desire to continue his career, and he's been training hard, staying ready. The thing is, his injury history is well known, but when healthy, Beckham remains a talented receiver who can still make an impact. And with the Giants needing that veteran presence, a familiar face returning to the team could be just what they need. Imagine the chemistry he could build with Jackson Dart, helping the young quarterback develop and giving the offense a much-needed boost. Plus, with recent injuries to other key players around the league, like Tyreek Hill, teams are more willing than ever to bring back veteran wideouts to fill gaps quickly. The Giants, with their cap space and a clear need for a proven playmaker, could be a prime landing spot for OBJ. Of course, availability has been a challenge for Beckham, but let's not forget, when he's healthy, he's still a game-changer. At 32, he's not too old, and he's got the experience of winning a Super Bowl, which could serve as a leadership boost in the locker room. Now, moving on to another veteran who could be a great addition, Robert Woods. Woods has been around the league for quite some time, and he's the kind of player who might not always grab headlines but consistently delivers when called upon. He's a reliable veteran, someone who can step into a receiver role and immediately provide stability and leadership. His career has been marked by clutch catches and consistent production, and even though he's had his injury setbacks, Woods still has enough in the tank to contribute. Last season, he caught 20 passes for the Houston Texans, and although he was released by the Pittsburgh Steelers prior to this season, that doesn't diminish his value. Adding Woods to the Giants' roster would give Dart a trustworthy target who knows how to find the end zone. He's scored touchdowns in almost every season he's played, except last year. His veteran savvy could be instrumental in helping Jackson Dart develop further, especially considering the young quarterback's need for reliable options in critical moments. Plus, Woods' injury history might actually be a plus here. It's a factor that could make him more affordable and open to signing with the Giants for a short-term deal. His presence could also help the younger receivers learn the nuances of the position, offering mentorship and stability in a time of need. And then there's Deontay Johnson, a player who's still in his prime at 29 years old. Johnson had a tough 2024 campaign, bouncing around between three different teams: Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, and Houston Texans. But don't let that overshadow his talent. Johnson is a playmaker, a guy who can stretch the field and make big plays when given the opportunity. Last season, he caught 33 passes for 375 yards and 3 touchdowns, mostly early in the season with the Panthers. His numbers dipped later in the year, but that's more a reflection of team situations than a lack of ability. What makes Johnson interesting for the Giants? Well, he's a cheap target with high upside, someone who could be a quick fix for Dart and the offense. The Giants need playmakers, and Johnson's speed and agility could open up new options for the young quarterback. Plus, with injuries hitting other teams hard this season, Johnson's availability makes him a prime candidate to sign in the coming weeks. If the Giants decide to go this route, they could land a guy with the talent to be a difference maker, even if he's not a household name yet. Now, it's worth noting that the free agent receiver market isn't overflowing with elite options right now. The Giants may have to settle for a veteran who can step in and contribute immediately, someone with experience, leadership, and the ability to produce in clutch moments. That's why players like Woods, Beckham, or Johnson make so much sense. They bring stability, familiarity, and a proven track record. It's not just about filling a roster spot. It's about finding someone who can help this team reach its goals, especially with the added pressure of replacing a star like Neighbors. Looking ahead, the Giants are at a crucial juncture. They've shown they can compete, and that win against the Chargers showed that this team has resilience. But they need to shore up their offensive weapons if they want to be serious contenders. The next few weeks will be telling as they evaluate their options in free agency and perhaps explore trades to bolster their receiver core. With Jackson Dart developing and the defense playing solid football, this team has the potential to make a deep playoff run. But it all hinges on how quickly they can find those reliable targets to support Dart's growth and keep defenses honest. It's also interesting to think about how these moves could influence the team's chemistry and locker room dynamics. Bringing in a veteran like Beckham or Woods not only adds talent but also leadership, which can be invaluable for a young quarterback like Dart. Building that chemistry early in the season can make all the difference come playoff time. The Giants are clearly aware of what's at stake, and their management will need to act swiftly and wisely to fill these gaps. So, what do you think, Giants fans? Are you hoping for a reunion with Beckham Jr.? Do you believe Woods can be the veteran presence this team needs? Or maybe Johnson's speed will be the spark Dart needs to unlock the offense? Whatever your thoughts are, I want to hear from you. Drop your comments below and tell me which receiver you think would make the biggest difference in New York. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and all the latest from the Giants. Stay tuned and keep supporting your team because, with the right moves, this team can still achieve great things. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest New York Giants news.